I don't know how well this is going to work, but I'll do it and post it and see what you think. So if you look, I put it in reverse. You can hear the motor drop. It works, but it's just a little slippy until I give it a little gas. Other than that, it works fine. Once it's done that once, you can drive in reverse and it works and works and works. But when you very first put it in reverse for whatever reason, it does that, and it always has. I don't know if it's a problem or not. Put it in forward, goes just fine. Drives, shifts, everything about it is just wonderful. So the amps gauge does not work, so that's another thing that just doesn't work on it. This truck, before the engine rebuild, had a high volume oil pump put in it, and then once the rebuild went together, it was a lot tighter tolerances, obviously, and so the high volume oil pump builds quite a bit of pressure. So the guy that did it all put a second oil pressure, just a positive gauge in it. It is a positive gauge, but I actually think that it doesn't work perfectly. I think it reads 20 pounds heavy, because even when there's no oil pressure and the line is off of it, it reads 20 pounds. So I think that it's on there as a fail-safe, and I think that it is actually failing, but it does read and it does work. I usually don't rev it up too much when it's cold, although it does have a pressure bypass in it, but I don't want to blow up a fuel filter or an oil filter or something. But the other gauges work. The stock oil gauge does work. It reads. The temperature gauge works. The fuel gauge works. Speedometer works. But in typical fashion, an old Ford, the amps gauge is burned up. It's got a cassette player that does work, and the heater works. The temperature valve works, so you can turn that off and open the vents, and everything's good. It's got a pretty modern, or a pretty recent exhaust system. It's got split exhaust with headers and Dynamax mufflers. All that stuff's in pretty good shape. I think the collector gaskets are starting to leak. I don't know if you can hear that on the right bank. So anyways, so the four-wheel drive does work. This isn't like my regular pickup, and I don't drive it all the time, and so the four-wheel drive, I don't go wheeling in it. I don't go drive it in the snow or whatever, but I know the four-wheel drive works because I was pulling a broke down truck up onto my car trailer with this truck while it was hooked to my daily driver, and spun out, had to put it in four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive worked just fine, and so there's that. Anyways, I think that's about enough of this. I'll post these and get back in touch with you.